Well, we've had quite a busy day, haven't we, Ratty? It's been an interesting day. We went out. Started thinking about our own health, didn't we, Ratty? I was just thinking, a pandemic like this we haven't had since the plague. Unless you can think of another one. No, I can't think of one either. Maybe the smallpox many years ago. Still, it does make it quite scary when you go out there. I just been to Asda. The line was long, all the way down to McDonald's. You were with me, weren't you, Ratty? There wasn't any abuse when I went there, which I'm very happy about. The staff people at the retail, they don't deserve that kind of abuse. I may, however, have abused the system. That's right. You see, someone had a bonfire, or we think it was a bonfire, outside the house. May have bothered the firefighters about it, but I was taught a long time ago that if you see smoke of any kind, unless it's obvious smoke, and this was huge gallons of smoke, then you report it. If it's nothing, people don't mind. But in this situation, I guess I did do slightly wrong. It's kind of difficult to be able to standardise. Try to work out if I actually cried wolf. Yeah, wolf. What's cry wolf? Well, cry wolf is a saying, Ratty. It's an old saying. Yeah. Do you know the story of the boy who cried wolf? Well, I guess I could tell you that today. After all, I did a bit of cry wolf myself. And then we'll raid the kitchen, see if we can find that cheese that I bought earlier. You see, in the old days, the shepherds would have looked after the sheep. They would have travelled from field to field looking after the sheep. One day the shepherd asked his son to keep an eye on the sheep while he popped into town. Now the boy, being no older than 7, got easily bored, and unfortunately, getting bored meant that he didn't really want to work. He wanted to play with his friends. So he came up with the idea to play a little trick on the town. So he blew his whistle. So when it was very quiet, he blew his whistle. All the shepherds had a whistle as a warning to say that wolves or bad animals were coming. He blew his whistle and cried, "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is coming!" Well, no one took such a warning lightly, and it attracted all of the people in the village. When they got to the field, however, all they found was the sheep grazing quietly and a very laughing little boy. The shepherd wasn't too impressed either. When they got home at the end of the day, after apologising to the villagers, he told the boy that he'd been very naughty and he shouldn't be making false alarms. Of course, the boy found it hilarious. The next day, the shepherd and his boy went to tend to the sheep again. They went to a different field nearby some woods. A few minutes later, the shepherd decided that it was lunchtime, so he was going to head to the village to go and get his lunch. He told the boy to keep an eye on the sheep until he gets back. After 5 minutes, the boy got bored again. So he came up with an idea. He decided to do his little trick once again. He blew his whistle and cried, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf, and it's going to eat the sheep!" Once again, the village, a little bit more cautious this time, didn't take a warning like that lightly. Once again, when they arrived at the field with the shepherd, they found the sheep grazing quietly, minding their own business, and a now hysterical little boy rolling in the grass, holding his belly with laughter. Now the villagers were not impressed. "Shepherd," they said, "if this warning comes again, we will not respond." and the shepherd had to agree with them. "Don't worry, this won't happen again," he assured them. When they got home at the end of the day, the shepherd was so angry he sent the boy to bed with no supper. "You have caused panic. Your pranks are not funny." Well, the boy certainly found it funny, even if his father didn't. The next day, he and his father went to tend to the sheep again, and once again the father headed into the village, this time because he needed to sort out a deal with the local butcher. Don't worry, it's fine. After 5 minutes, the boy once again got bored, so he decided to play his little trick once again. He was just about to blow the whistle when he heard a growl come from the woods nearby. A tall, lanky, grey wolf stalked out of the woods. He approached one of the sheep, licking his lips. The boy immediately blew the whistle. "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf about to attack the sheep!" The area was dead quiet. There was no sound anywhere. He looked around, but no one was responding. The village carried on as normal. No one was coming. When he turned back round, the wolf had turned his attention from the sheep now to the startled and frightened little boy. The boy was scared. He blew the whistle again and cried out, "Wolf! Wolf! There is really a wolf! It's really coming! It's going to eat the sheep!" But the villagers took no notice. They'd had enough of his little lies and little pranks. Even his father, who was busy making the deal at the time, didn't really take it seriously this time. The wolf edged towards the boy, grinned its big, teethy grin, and pounced. 20 minutes later, by the time the father had arrived once again at the field, the sheep were grazing quietly as if nothing had happened. But where the boy had been sitting on his rock, keeping an eye on the sheep, there was nothing more than a whistle and a shepherd's stick. You see, he'd cried wolf too many times, and the village didn't believe him anymore. That's what happens to liars. Now, I may not have been a liar, but if I did cause trouble, I'm willing to accept the consequences of what happened. And it may just have been a bonfire, but you never know what could have happened if it had gone out of control. Now, someone is after cheese, aren't you, Ratty? So I think we better head off and finish our dinners off before we go to sleep. I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, one last little note. The bedtime stories are going to vary from now on. Some will be just me telling a story, and others will be visual stories, or even working projects as I work. It's to keep us all entertained and us happy. Keep safe, everyone. I hope this crisis ends soon.